Good morning. Another day in the garden. We're over here. I'm Kathy, growing over here in Glory's garden. And today, what we're doing is watering in again and mulching. That's the goal for today. I only have a few hours to be out here today because I have to go to work. It's about 9:21 in the morning, and that is going to be the goal for today, to get everything that's not mulched in. If something needs a little more mulch added, we would do that as well. And also water in. What I'm going to start watering first today is the raised beds. I'm going to start watering these first. And while they're being watered in, I'm going to start mulching on the other side of the garden. So that's what the goal is today. I think I have showed you all my setup for my irrigation system. If not, I'll show you again. I do have the giraffe tool, this water hose. That's part of one of the things I use to water the other side of the garden. It is 125 feet because I tried to get the longest one that they had, because my husband also used the water hose when he's out here burning trash. We always have the water hose on deck for safety, just in case that fire decides to get out of hand. But down here is my system. That gray cord, that's the main water hose. And then the one here goes to this smaller water bed. And you see one is empty. I still could add one. It's a little blurry. I still can add one. And then this one goes to the big water bed, the big raised bed. I'm saying the water bed, but that's what I'm trying to do, water. So I just turn these on, and I turn the little black nozzle that's on them, turn them up, and the water starts. It's just as simple as that to get them going. I do go through to make sure the water is going in a direction that I want it to go in, and not, sometimes they get twisted as I'm working in the bed. They won't be directly inside the raised bed like I want. Sometimes I bump them when I'm doing certain things in the raised bed. So I have to make sure that I go back and I check on them to make sure that they're going in the right direction. Like this one here is not even hitting the plant. This one is over here on this side. Need to make sure it's at least going in the plant. And I had one of them protected, one of the smaller ones protected by a water bottle, because I noticed something was coming in here eating everything, chewing on everything. And I don't want that. And I do still have it kind of like on a mist system, just so they won't be getting so beat up and knocked down. This one is spraying a little funny, so I might need to adjust the nozzle on it some. Yeah. I still have a little room here. I probably could drop something small back here or up in here. If there's nothing up in this spot, I probably could put something in. I thought about maybe bringing some of the kohlrabi over here, some of the kohlrabi things over here. And I'll probably let these go for a little while. For when I say a little while, I'm talking like 40 minutes or so. So I can make sure this dirt is really soaked in. I try to make sure everything is sitting up, that I have enough soil around them. Because sometimes if you have this water on too high, it will move the dirt. And then those things will lay down. So I'm going to go check on the next raised bed. And then after that, I'll be getting ready to mulch. and I will show you what kind of mulch I'm using. The AC is not on right now, so we can talk. Believe it or not, we're having some cool days, but we still need that AC. So I'm gonna get over here and show you. Now with this raised bed, I really have to maneuver rather, not manure. I really have to maneuver what I'm doing with these irrigation system, because on this end it's not a fountain on this end. So I have to come over here and make sure I move these around to make sure everything is getting water. So in maybe about 20 minutes or so, I'll come back over here and I'll shift the system around. I came yesterday and I poured water on this tomato plant. I poured a whole bucket, I dripped a whole bucket of water down there on the tomato plant, because I know it probably needs a lot of water deeper. And there's still room at the end of this raised bed to put a few things, a few more smaller things. So I will come back and adjust the water over here. I do have a few more pieces where I can add one more thing, but I think I was out of the faucets because I ordered the same size for this bed as I did the other bed, which was just a smaller size, but they do have larger where it comes with more pieces, and I just got both the same size as all. But that's it for that. I checked on that. Now I'm going to pull out my mulch, show you what I'm using for my mulch. I started off with wood chips at one point. They were colored. I was new at gardening. Somebody was like, oh, you better not use those colored wood chips, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of moved those. They were saying about the dye or whatever. But I still have those same wood chips around front, and it hadn't changed yet. But I didn't want to take any chances about my food. Then I had bales of straw that I used. Most of those that I had left with those, that's what's filling those two big raised beds at the bottom. I took those big bales of straw that I had and dumped those down at the bottom. And that's how I got those filled up so quick. And I know that's why they drop so, and I'm constantly having to put soil in after every planting season, because that straw is probably breaking down. And then I went to some hay that I got from Lowe's. It covered in mulch, but I didn't really like it because it seemed like maybe that particular hay, it wasn't raw. And when I say raw, it seemed like it was kind of coated with a little waxing, or had a little waxing or something on it, and it wasn't breaking down like I wanted it to. And if it did break down, I really didn't want wax in the dirt, but that's what they had. And I thought, oh, hey, this will go a lot further. I liked it, the bales of straw, but it was just too much, too aggravating to try to fit around my pot. I needed something a little smaller. So now this is what I'm using. So now this is what I use. This is red cedar bedding. It's made for this. You can use it with your animals as well. It's natural, odor and moisturizer absorbent, because you can use it in with your animals, your rabbits, your dogs, your horses, your chickens, or whatever. So I'm using this. It's raw. It's nothing on here, and it's chipped up enough for me, and it does break down. So I haven't had any problem with this at all, using it for mulch. I haven't had any problem. It's less bugs. When I use some of those wood chips, I can say I saw a lot of bugs and stuff like that. That's one reason why I didn't go with wood chips just because the wood chips for me is just decoration. I just like it for the decor. I like the red because it gives a little pop of color in the garden, gives a pop of color around your flowers, your trees, and stuff like that. That's why I liked it. So I'm gonna let those raised beds, let that irrigation system go some, and I'm gonna go around and start just popping um, this wood chips in around things that need to be. I'm gonna start probably. I may start towards the back with the lilac tower and then just work my way around because none of the new towers have wood chips in them, not any of those. And the older ones where I added seed and I had to go in and loosen up the soil and stuff like that, those wood chips are mixed up in there. So nothing I can say, none of the raised beds, none of the I'm sorry, none of the green stalk towers, all of those need to be mulched. That's what I'm trying to say. Because if it did have mulch on top, it's mixed up in the soil now. Because I didn't move the mulch out the way, then try to add some soil. I just stirred everything up to loosen up everything, and I put ocean forest soil on top, and then now I'll come back with the wood chips on it. So that's what we're going to be doing this morning. That is the goal, to get these wood chips down. So we're around here on the back side of the garden, right close to the lilac tower and the last two pots of the garden. And I'm just going to take this mulch and put it in around here. This is not a new bag. I have had this a while and I have used it a lot. You would get some wood pieces in here like this, but for the most part, you know, it's chipped up. But I take these and I use it in my fire barrel over there when I'm trying to make a little fire, especially if I'm trying to chase away mosquitoes. I like to smell some of this cedar burning. So this, I've used this bag before, but it's chipped up. It's more like shavings. That's what it's like to me. It's more like shavings. So this bag seems like it can go a long way, but hopefully I put a good dent in it today after I get through chipping everything in, covering everything. I did put this on my dolly because I don't want to have to drag this all the way around and keep lifting. This is compact, and I think that's why it have lasted as long, because it's compact in. It's really stuffed in tight. So I don't necessarily say it's compact, but it's really stuffed in tight. I'm picking out some of these little berry seeds that's falling from the tree above because I don't want nothing else popping up in here growing. Yeah, excuse me. I try my best not to bend over towards the camera, but hey, sometimes it happens. So now we get into the lilac tower, and I'm gonna start from the bottom up. Have to be careful of these little seedlings. Sometimes they seem like they so weak. But this is the work today in the garden. Usually this kind of stuff I do not show. I just kind of show what it may look like afterwards, and I'm trying to get out of that because I do get compliments on the garden. In the comments, people tell me, "Oh, your garden looks nice. Your garden looks colorful." You know, I'm a beginner gardener, so I need to start showing my work. So if I'm not doing something right, and somebody out there who know a little more something than I do might can help me. But you know, sometimes just because one thing I did learn too, I'm gonna say this. One thing I have learned too, just because you see a person that's just beginning on YouTube, that don't mean they're a beginner gardener. Because I have seen some beginner gardeners and the stuff that they do and the things that and the knowledge and stuff that they drop. I know they didn't just start gardening when I did. You know, they say they're new to gardening. They'll say they're new to YouTube, but I could tell by the things that they do that they're not new to gardening. So don't let those low amount subscribers fool you that every person you see on here that's gardening because they don't have a lot of followers that they just started gardening. Because I've been learning a lot from some of the people who just got on YouTube, and it's been very helpful to me to that I came in acquaintance with them through YouTube. And that's one thing that drew me to YouTube, because I can meet other people that's doing what I'm doing. I don't have any family here that's gardening. I'm trying to get my family to start gardening. But I do have a couple of friends that garden, but neither one of them are here. One is in Maryland, and the other one, she's new to gardening. She's in North Carolina. But we do pass tips back and forth. And y'all have heard me talk about Stephanie's garden. And we do pass tips between each other back and forth. And I encourage them to watch some YouTube videos too, because, you know, my dad taught me a lot, but I wasn't outside with my dad all the time. And when I became an adult, you know, I didn't live at home. I worked and had kids and had a family of my own, so I wasn't over to my dad's house like I was when I was little. I was a daddy girl because I followed him anywhere he would let me follow him. If he went fishing, I went fishing with him. You know, that's how I learned how to do a lot of things, how to paint, how to cut grass. You know, I know how to change a tire. I'm just not able to turn those lugs, but, you know, I learned all that kind of stuff from my dad, being around my dad all the time. I learned how to grill from my dad. And everything that he taught me in my young life, I'm still using it. I use that painting skill more than anything, because I have painted this house, painted my other house I was in, painted my sister's house. You know, so those skills that my dad taught me come in handy. But, you know, when you grow up, you don't be around your parents all the time, because you be wanting to do grown-up stuff that half the time you ain't supposed to be doing no way. But, you know, as an adult, I wasn't around him when he lived in this house that I'm living in now. You know, he didn't have as big a garden as he did when we were on the island that I grew up on. Here, he just had his collard greens, and he would have some pepper plants and stuff that he would do, because he pickled his own peppers, you know, and had them. They would be on the table. You know, when you're mulching this these little pockets like this, it is time consuming, because a good little bit of this stuff is hitting the ground, but that's me just letting it fall and not caring. But you know, you want to get it in there. You don't want it covering the little part that you're not supposed to cover, because certain plants you're not supposed to cover. You know, I don't forget what you call it, where the plant meet up and come out of the ground. You don't want to smother it, rather, like the crown of the plant. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm not covering the crown of the plant. Y'all, that's what I'm doing today. This is the goal for today. I will try to get back with you when I have everything done. I'm not even absolutely sure that I will get all of this done today, but I can say that my goal is to get this side of the garden done. So, and I'm going to show you the side that I'm talking about. My goal today is to get this side of the garden done. Here where we have the 2 barrels, lilac tower, the sweet potatoes, we have the charcoal tower, the stone tower, raspberry, blueberry, and lemon. If I could work this whole area and get all of this mulched in, that'd be good. And this is just the front side of the garden. It's not counting the things that's on the other side of the garden, that's sitting behind the green stalk towers. Like I have 2 mulberry bushes back there. They are covered because the leaves that came off of them, when they went without water for a couple of days and I picked the leaves off, I put the leaves down there and they had already had mulch. So they're pretty much covered. But if you could look right there, there's a tent right there that needs to be mulched. It has spinach and stuff like that. Kale, I believe, is in that. And then there's something else back there, the cherry tree. It's just things on the back side of the garden that I'll be checking out too and making sure. But that's my goal, to get this whole side of the garden mulched in. And that includes the towers.